talk all that even while you're at the venue and you get bodied, hold that L. Hold it with pride. Hold it because we're going to remind you of it.
Hold it and run it back. That's the best way to do it.
Take that, get better, grind off of that. Speaking of people who held that L on a very tough L earlier in winter semis, we're going to see my predicted loser semis around Scot, Nelvin, Pelca, Kiwi. What do you think? Who do you think is got the better advantage in this situation right now?
All right, so I'm still feeling that Pelca and Kiwi have this moving forward, although this I feel is on a much more fundamental just matchup basis. A lot of people don't recognize it because Pac-Man is a very goofy character that has a lot of faults, but Pac-Man still has notable matchups. One of them being having an advantageous matchup against Diddy Kong. And when you look at all of the tools in Pac-Man's kit, it becomes very evident how so. Bonus Fruit helps with controlling a lot of space. Diddy Kong has to control where he's moving or else he's just going to get bodied by Pac-Man's normals in the air. Yeah, Pac-Man's grab game isn't that strong, but you don't have to worry about that so much when you have Cloud right on the tails of Pac-Man looking to defend.
And you guys see that firsthand when it comes to the excessive abilities of what Pac-Man can do versus Diddy, as well as in doubles with Sinji in your area. You're very fortunate to have that over there. You know, just the fact that he gets to play against Angel Cortez, and I've seen the way that matchup's gone down. Like, wow, this was not nearly as bad as I thought it was. I thought Diddy Kong would win that, but it's everything like you said. The ability to disrupt and like the item play kind of contests the fact that you can't really just focus on having Banana for your own stage control. You have to worry about Pac-Man's Fire Hydrant also for stage control. But in doubles, Kiwi just gets to play around and get as much items as she wants because Pelca is just there to smother you every time you try to go to punishment.
And some really interesting ledge play over there by Blue Team. We saw Kiwi returning to stage with Trampoline at the ledge so that she could constantly put out a hitbox on top of Green Team, while also giving Pelca enough room to position himself to come in with Limit Cross Slash. Yeah, they didn't get any kills out of that, but it showed that they have such a fine understanding of the synergy between these two characters.
Yeah, unfortunately for Pelca, too, he's gone for 2 raw up smashes on Nelvin over on the left side. Hasn't died to either one and lost his stock in the process, so good survivability. If Green Team can hold on, I know this is cliche, but if they can hold on to the stocks as long as possible, and have one of the two of you be a stock take, that'll be great because you need to be able to try and get and solidify these stocks against Pelca as quick as possible. Trying to wait out the air dodge as long as possible, hopefully trying to get that stock off of Pelca, but not going to get it, and Scot going to finally lose his first stock.
So things sitting rather even, but it's tenuous at best. Pelca looking kind of hurt right now, bleeding at 94%. Kiwi doesn't really have any of her resources established on the stage. Green Team doing a very good job of holding both the ledges. They've recognized that center stage isn't really going to help them that much. Cloud and Pac-Man can both break through whatever walls they establish, and they can take center stage easily. But through using the ledge trapping that Nelvin's been bringing time and time again, and the fact that Scot is constantly positioning himself for those empty spaces, Green Team is allowing themselves to control the main stage off of its ledges. Blue Team not really being able to get their footing well, and we see that even extended now. Pelca sitting on this last stock.
You know what? I like the fact that from what we've seen so far, Green Team has opted to go for the 1v1s. They're just pushing Blue Team onto the opposite end and just trading off with whoever they feel good with at the time. They're just going at, you know, they've had Nelvin focused on Kiwi a lot, breaking up those fire hydrants with the up smashes, and just completely eliminating their ability to just have that kind of unorthodox stage control in center stage. And it's been working out for them very well so far. They do have a stock lead, and Kiwi is very close to dying at any given point in time. But Nelvin is also going to eat a limit up B. What's that? Climb hazard?
Climb hazard,
All right, shout-outs to no one my meta for FF. Zion's going to hate me for having to second-guess that. And wow, actually, Kiwi's going to end up surviving after all of that. But Pelca had to, unfortunately, share a stock, and Kiwi's still alive, even after that up smash, and managing to seal out Scot's stock because of it.
Very impressive. Shows that Kiwi has an excellent sense of how to DI with his character and to also shorten the hitboxes using that back air. However, it's not going to be enough to maintain it even further. And leaving Pelca in the 2v1 situation, a very dangerous one at that, but he's got his limit. the chance is there, and it's slim. He just needs to reverse some sort of mispositioning on green team's half and turn this around.
Yeah, if you could get some damage on the Scot, and maybe you can catch them both just kind of sleeping on the ledge with a limit cross slash, it might work out for them. They've done a good job extending these combos in center stage, but Pelca's just been smothering Nelvin for the most part, trying to get that stock lost. That was smart on Scot. Just get him off stage. Nelvin's been getting juggled left and right and just force him off of his teammate. But right now, just standing still. Like, you don't really want to overcommit to going into Cloud with limit, but you have 13%.
Right.
You
I
can
personally
afford
feel
to
you should
take
be
that.
using like fireballs, but I mean, the up smash not killing.
Yeah,
Killing his own teammate.
Yeah, all of a sudden this seems to, no, never mind. Calling out the spot dodge in center stage with that up smash, but yeah, that was all of a sudden gonna, yep, that was game one. That was all of a sudden about to possibly be a reversal for Pelca there.
Yeah, a very threatening game one, because things were a little too close to call for that. But
Yes.
we saw the green team came into it, and they had a very strong game plan, developed very quickly. However, the fault with that, I feel like blue team can adapt to that rather well. Whether or not it's Kiwi switching off of Pac-Man to any other character within her pool, Pelca maybe even contesting Diddy Kong with his own, or if a stage switch might be dynamic enough to mess up that plan. I feel like one of the triplat stages will give enough viability on the ledge that blue team can mix up however they come back to stage, especially considering that Pac-Man has the power pellets, has trampoline, has a little bit of a jump off of the fire hydrant. All of those tools coupled with a wall jump leaves Pac-Man with a lot of room to be able to come back to stage if given a lot of space to do so.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think they're going to let them, never mind.
It's going to be Battlefield.
I was going to say, I don't think that they're going to let them get triplats because Kiwi wants the flat stages. She wants to be able to get those fire hydrants. However, in doubles, now that she is here, we're going to see much less fire hydrant usage for the most part because they don't want to just have it land on a random platform. Or she's just going to throw them out on center stage. Just make me eat all my words.
Center stage, though, is definitely the best placement for that because while it bounces around, it lingers more on the platforms than it would a the base platform. And as you were just mentioning before being corrected by the gameplay itself, placing it on the platforms is going to be dangerous. But green team showing no fear right now, already taking an early stop off of Pelca. So we're getting ourselves back onto the ledge. Both members of green team off. And Kiwi opting just to support while Pelca pressures. And I feel like it's a very tried and true method of how Cloud can control the game when it comes to tri-flats. Up air and nair allows so much contesting at stage. And Luigi and Diddy Kong don't really have too much on their own to contest that. If green team can organize themselves together, however, I feel like they should be able to take the stage back and press a further advantage, but Kiwi is not letting that happen.
Yeah, right now, definitely, if they could regain the way that they played in the first game, kind of like what they've been doing so far, good survivability, and just kind of throwing them off on the 1v1 situations, it could work out for them. But so far, Kiwi's survivability and kind of just playing back and letting Pelca do his thing has been working out for him a little bit more. We see that we're already at the 6-minute, 30-second mark, and we've only lost. I'm sorry, everybody's lost the stock except Kiwi. I thought Pelca also didn't lose the stock. So right now, it's looking a little bit more beneficial for blue team on this triplat pick right now. Or the lose button itself, press and grab with Pac-Man, is going to unfortunately make Kiwi lose her first stock, even though she did live a long time, so she still got a lot of mileage out of that stock.
No, I don't
right.
She almost had the read on the
Oh my god,
positioning.
she almost sniped out Nelvin's high recovery with that side B. That would have been immaculate and extremely knowledgeable on her part.
And that would have been a true follow-up. First hit of Gallica does lead into the power pellets at a very odd angle, but it's an angle that's known nonetheless. And thanks to Pelca interrupting Nelvin's first recovery, the rocket barrels actually extended the ledge play. However, because of Scot's presence at the left side of the field, they were able to turn the situation back around in favor of green team. Pelca's sitting on his last stock already. Meanwhile, Kiwi sitting fairly fresh at her second stock at 44%. Both members of green team are bleeding, though. Scot at 117, coming back onto the stage and eating a fire hydrant, and Nelvin losing that stock as a up air just eats him alive.
Yeah, green team doing a pretty good job staying alive for a good amount of time there, but it's still pretty beneficial right now because Pelca doesn't actually need a limit to close out the stock against like Nelvin and Scot in the position they were. They really need to focus on getting rid of Kiwi because Kiwi has done a great job of just living as long as possible. And even though they've done a good job of kind of just like bouncing Pelca around, they haven't really solidified his stock early. And right now, blue team once again in the lead, and that might seal it out. And all of a sudden, Scot finds himself in a 2v1 position.
And a very difficult one at that, as percentages aren't particularly high on either of these characters, sitting between the low to mid 80s in counting for Kiwi. But she's not really threatened. She has a lot of room to be able to hold that stock as the Wake Up DP just comes in to blow up Pelca's last stock.
Yeah, looking like Street Fighter out here, just getting that Shoryuken and actually sealing it out. And Scot at 71%. This is still doable if you can manage to get rid of Kiwi or maybe get the early gimp on Pelca. It is very much doable with that down B. And Scot doing a good job. Nice micro-spacing, just avoiding getting punished. Looking very similar to the way Light was playing before in that 2v1.
And Kiwi manages the offstage play. However, Scot gets himself back. The
nice
trampoline
tech.
actually saving.
Did he miss that tech?
I think he missed the tech, but the trampoline was right there. If Kiwi had positioned herself in a certain way.
That's true, it did go yellow. So, oh wait, no. Doesn't it automatically go yellow on first? Nope, blue.
Goes,
yeah, no,
yeah.
he got saved by the trampoline.
Blue, yellow, red, and then gone.
So unfortunately for Kiwi, actually extending this match further than it should be. And Scot doing a good job just kind of like putting that wall of pressure between the two of them. But just not able to break out of that grab fast enough, and Kiwi finally walking up. And I thought she was just going to let that go. Because she was kind of just jumping over there like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
She kept really good spacing in that. It's difficult to space with the smashes because the ghosts have really wonky disjoints. Although, in a blink and you'll miss it moment, if you saw the results screen in that, Pelca had an immense body count in that.
They played it to the T as to what you would expect it on Battlefield. Kiwi used the survivability, kind of just faded around, being annoying, just throwing projectiles and putting the fire hydrant out just to disrupt. Like, you think that you're going to have combo extensions on platforms until you have a melon just running in, and all of a sudden Pelca is in your face with a cross slash. Like, their stage positioning was very good, like, throughout the set for the most part, other than when they were losing the 1v1s. But on triplats, it worked way better. This is pretty even stage, I think, across the board for both teams, the way that we've seen FD and Battlefield work. I'm very interested to see who could get the earlier kills off the top, because for the most part, even though Cloud gets a lot of good early kills off the top with up air, it's been Nelvin and Scot that have been getting the kills off top.
And just as you say that, perfect timing as Pelca secures the first stock with an up air. And I feel like the stage being so dynamic and generally speaking having smaller blast zones is going to go a long way for both teams. I feel like in that pseudo final destination phase is where green team really can take an opportunity to bring things back to even or even take an advantage. But once these platforms come back, it's a lot harder for them to maintain that control. While Diddy Kong can make excellent use of these platforms and can extend combos off of them, go for more kills, and even better yet, be able to chase the members of Blue Team, Luigi doesn't have that luxury. He has to contest that base platform constantly. And we haven't really seen Scot putting out a lot of tools to do so with that. He hasn't used a lot of green fireball. He hasn't been able to get a lot of combos of his own, sort of relying on Nell to open up for him and for him to close out stocks.
Oh, unfortunately, the fire hydrant actually coming through and just pushing Nelvin out of the way, saying, no, you're not recovering with that short upbeat. But I agree, because Scot hasn't been able to get really deep combo extensions, which is normally what he's very good at. And maybe because of the fact that Nelvin's been looking so good game 3 so far, let him be point. Let him be the one to get these stocks, and you just disrupt with these fireballs and short fairs. Just kind of annoy them the same way Kiwi's been doing with her item play.
Now, one thing I'm noticing out of Kiwi's play, and this is a really specific thing, that I don't even know if it's particular Pac-Man gameplay, or if it's just a really smart idea from her. Every time that she's managed to land a grab, she's going for up throw. Now, up throw is notable because it doesn't combo well at all for Pac-Man. It doesn't send at a particularly great angle for combos, but it sends high up regardless of percentages. It has very strong base knockback for sending up. Now, it's not good enough to be a kill throw, but what it is doing for Blue Team, every time that we have seen Kiwi land this grab and throw, is it's asserting stage control, because it's forcing a juggle state. And even if Kiwi doesn't follow up, the opponent that she throws, be it Nelvin or Scot, they have to come down eventually.
That's true, and you have the ever-so-present feel of a Limit Cloud with Pelca just kind of wow, this man just tried to recover edge guard with up B on the side of the stage. But yeah, just the fact that you have Cloud kind of floating around you underneath Kiwi's up throw, very smart, very good noticing on that on your part. Right now, green team and blue team pretty dead even for the most part, other than Scot being behind a little bit. But yeah, luckily, Scot being not too far behind, but he's going to get clipped by the Nair, and now he's going to have to go for it. Is he not going to go for it? Okay, I think he was just waiting for a good position where he could try and come down and maybe capitalize on Kiwi running in and seal out a, like, kind of snipe a good stage positioning. Pelca's been doing a great job for what is normally a very bad non-limit recovery, avoiding getting gimped by Scot, because that's what Scot's been looking for over there this entire set.
Yeah, while we've been building up Kiwi's ability to control stage well and green team's constant adaptability to the dire situation placed in front of them, take a moment to appreciate how Pelca's just sort of been playing off the walls with Cloud.
Yeah, Pelca has just been immaculate for the most part at sealing out stocks and putting on that pressure to allow Kiwi to get her item play, let her feel comfortable. Calling out that jump on in center stage, very smart. And Kiwi just, for the most part, just staying back. Very good, because if she decided to commit, she could have lost her stock in that situation.
Right. And she's doing fine at 112, sets up fine for Pelca to charge up his limit, assert further stage control, go for these juggles that are just building the percentage further and further on Scot.
Yeah, right now, Scot in a pretty dire situation behind 116, and Pelca does only have 13%, even though he can die soon. Pelca opting to take the point. Okay, wow. Immediately, as soon as he had that key, as soon as he saw that she had the key, immediate throw. He was pummeling just long enough to make sure that she can get that true follow-up. And instead of seeing the normal blueprint there, where you would see maybe Pac-Man going in to allow Cloud to set up, we saw the reverse. We allow, that's also something to get a little mentally stressed about. It's like, okay, she's at 100 some odd %, but you want Cloud to have limit. But instead, Pelca's just like, no, I'm going to stay in your face. So that way Kiwi could get whatever she wants to play with. And very, very smart knowledge between both of them.